1910.423 Post-dive procedures. 1910.423 General. The employer shall comply with the following requirements, which are applicable after each diving operation, unless otherwise specified. 1910.423 Precautions. 1910.423 1. After the completion of any dive, the employer shall 1910.423 1 I through 1910.423 1 4 check the physical condition of the diver. Instruct the diver to report any physical problems or adverse physiological effects, including symptoms of decompression sickness. Advise the diver of the location of a decompression chamber which is ready for use, and alert the diver to the potential hazards of flying after diving. 1910.423 2. For any dive outside the no decompression limits, deeper than 100 FSW or using mixed gas as a breathing mixture, the employer shall instruct the diver to remain awake and in the vicinity of the decompression chamber, which is at the dive location, for at least 1 hour after the dive, including decompression or treatment as appropriate. 1910.423 C. Recompression capability. 1910.423 C1. A decompression chamber capable of recompressing the diver at the surface to a minimum of 165 FSW, 6 ATA, shall be available at the dive location for 1910.423 C1 I through 1910.423 C1 3. Surface applied air diving to depths deeper than 100 FSW and shallower than 220 FSW. Mixed gas diving shallower than 300 FSW, or diving outside the no decompression limits shallower than 300 FSW. 1910.423 C2. A decompression chamber capable of recompressing the diver at the surface to the maximum depth of the dive shall be available at the dive location for dives deeper than 300 FSW. 1910.423 C3. The decompression chamber shall be 1910.423 C3 I through 1910.423 C3 3 dual lock, multi-place, and located within 5 minutes of the dive location. 1910.423 C4. The decompression chamber shall be equipped with 1910.423 C4 I through 1910.423 C4 V. A pressure gauge for each pressurized compartment designed for human occupancy. A built-in breathing system with a minimum of 1 mask per occupant. A two-way voice communication system between occupants and a dive team member at the dive location. A viewport and illumination capability to light the interior. 1910.423 C5. Treatment tables, treatment gas appropriate to the diving mode, and sufficient gas to conduct treatment shall be available at the dive location. 1910.423 C6. A dive team member shall be available at the dive location during and for at least 1 hour after the dive to operate the decompression chamber, when required or provided. 1910.423 D. Record of dive. 1910.423 D1. The following information shall be recorded and maintained for each diving operation. 1910.423 D1 I through 1910.423 D1 6. Names of dive team members including designated person in charge, date, time, and location, diving modes used, general nature of work performed, approximate underwater and surface conditions, visibility, water temperature and current, and maximum depth and bottom time for each diver. 1910.423 D2. For each dive outside the no decompression limits, deeper than 100 FSW or using mixed gas, the following additional information shall be recorded and maintained. 1910.423 D2 I through 1910.423 D2 3. Depth time and breathing gas profiles, decompression table designation, including modification, and elapsed time since last pressure exposure if less than 24 hours or repetitive dive designation for each diver. 1910.423 D3. For each dive in which decompression sickness is suspected or symptoms are evident, the following additional information shall be recorded and maintained. 1910.423 D3 I. Description of decompression sickness symptoms, including depth and time of onset, and 1910.423, D3, 2. Description and results of treatment. 1910.423, E. Decompression procedure assessment. The employer shall. 1910.423, E1. Investigate and evaluate each incident of decompression sickness based on the recorded information, consideration of the past performance of decompression table used, and individual susceptibility. 1910.423, E2. Take appropriate corrective action to reduce the probability of recurrence of decompression sickness. And 1910.423, E3. Prepare a written evaluation of the decompression procedure assessment, including any corrective action taken, within 45 days of the incident of decompression sickness.